Good morning, children. Now we are in the 14th lesson, 7th class social studies. What is that lesson? Mughal Empire. Okay, Mughal Empire. So in this Mughal Empire, we already discussed about some kings. Okay, Muslim kings. Among them, the important one is Akbar. Now Akbar's reign. So what is the conditions at the time of Akbar? For example, 1570 Akbar, so he called who are the scholars of different faiths. For example, Brahmins, they belongs to Hindus, Christians are some Catholic mission, priests. Next one, Jain. Okay, so he called Muslim leaders, that means religious leaders, Hindu leaders, Christian leaders, Jain leaders, etc. So he held together, he called together and he held one meeting. What are the main points of all religions? And he prepared, that means they prepared one to perform. That means here the king wanted to tolerance among all religions in his country. So that is the main idea. So that is why he wanted to implement the honesty. Okay, honesty is very important. Okay, so in this way he started this meeting. Next one, in his court he called his friends also. So he took the advice of his friends and he started that one. For example, Abul Fazl. So Abul Fazl wrote one book. In that book he described about the conditions of Akbar's reign. For example, diverse faith. I said already, he called Muslim leaders, Hindu leaders, Christian leaders, Jain leaders, etc. Okay, next one, he started one that is called universal peace. What it is called? Universal peace. For example, here I wrote Sul-e-Kul. What is that? Sul-e-Kul. So that is about in his code. That means he wanted to establish peace among all different religion people in the society. Next one, he wanted to spread honesty among the people. Okay, so that is why he started this one. Next to Jahangir, and after Akbar, who followed this same method? Jahangir followed, Shah Jahan also followed what is implemented by his forefather Akbar. But at the reign of Aurangzeb, what happened? Aurangzeb did not follow this method which is implemented by Akbar. So he encouraged only Sunni Muslims. Aurangzeb encouraged only Sunni Muslims. Actually they are Muslims. So even though Akbar is Muslim, Shah Jahan is Muslim. Okay, here I wrote Jahangir also Muslim, but they gave importance to the remaining religious people. They took the advice of the remaining religious leaders. They implemented for the sake of welfare of all people of that country. Actually, the kingdom is very vast kingdom. Okay, so many different faiths following people are living there. But here what happened at the time of Aurangzeb? Aurangzeb discouraged the remaining religious people, but he only encouraged and followed the Sunni Muslims. What he is telling by the leaders. Okay, so that is why remaining all religion people are not accepting about the methods of Aurangzeb. That means many people revolted. Here simply we will tell about the reign of Aurangzeb. Many people in the society did not obey the commands or the policies of Aurangzeb, which is implementing with the help of maybe the Sunni Muslim. Okay, children. Next one. What happened in the 17th century after? Actually, in 1570s, Akbar policies are very good. So he respected all people, all different kinds of people or different faiths of people. Okay, so that is why people are spend their lives very easily. But what happened at the time of Aurangzeb? People are facing many difficulties. Actually, here the country is vast country. Even the travelers also, when they studied the vast kingdom, one side wealthy people are living, another side poor people are living. Wealthy people are enjoying, they are earning money, they are getting profits. Okay, they are enjoying by birth also some category people. But the other category people here facing many troubles. By they are doing hard work. Okay, that condition is observing by the travelers. Okay, so that's why they described about the kingdom of Akbar or kingdom of these rulers. One side is very great and another side is very etc. Okay, children, that means very problems facing by other group that is occurring in this period. So next one, Munsubdars. Actually, many Munsubdars are appointing by the kings. Why? Because they want to collect the money or revenue from the peasants, from the artisans, from the traders, from the merchants, etc. So in this way, these people are collecting the revenue, and what is the duty of these Munsabdars? They had to supervise the certain territory and they had to collect the tax and they had to send this tax to the finally to the king. But what happening here? Actually 445 members are there Munsabdar out of 8,000. Okay, that is the percentage is 5.6 percentage. If it is 100%, 5.6 percentage are Munsabdars occupied. Next one, they received how much amount? Out of 100%, they received 61.5%. That means majority amount which is collecting by the Munsabdars, the Munsabdars are enjoying with this majority amount. 61.5% amount to receiving themselves and enjoying with themselves. Okay, so the remaining part is going to the king. So with that small amount, king is not spending the money for the welfare of the weaker people. That means he did not invest any money for the development of weaker sections in the society. So that is the main drawback of in this reign. Okay, so here peasants and artisans, they suffered a lot because kings did not develop irrigation facilities to the kings. They did not encourage the peasants for more productive, which is cultivating by the farmers or peasants. Even the artisans' position also very sad conditions. Okay, but who are getting benefit due to this in at the reign of these rulers? Here traders, that means merchants and bankers. Why? Because merchants will purchase the goods and selling the goods, with this they can earn profits. Bankers duty we know, they are giving money on the basis of loan and they will collect interest. Okay, but here the really hard workers, peasants are facing many problems. But kings are not solving these problems. So that is occurring in this reign. So that's why the rulers, local people who are Munsabdars or who are Jamindars, they independently announced that what is freedom or independent country or independent kingdom. Okay, that means these people who are Munsabdars or who are Jagirdars, for the servants of king, these Jamindars and these Jagirdars or Munsabdars, they revolted against the kings. But king did not control these Munsabdars. So that is why they started independent kingdoms in some regions of this area. For example, Hyderabad and Awadh. So we can see these Nawabs independently declared that what is one another kingdom at Hyderabad and Awadh. but we can see only this kingdom at Delhi. Where? At Delhi. Okay, children. Now this is the lesson. Now I want to show you here. Once you turn your textbook, you come to this lesson, page number 128. Here you look at. Sul-e-Khul. What it is? Sul-e-Khul. Jahangir, Akbar's son. So he described his father's policy of Sul-e-Khul in the following words. As in the wide expanse of the divine compassion, there is room for all classes and the followers of all creeds. So that means in this new system, so he gave opportunity to join all kinds of men and women, whether they are Muslims, whether they are Christians, whether they are Jains, okay, whether they are Hindus, whoever it is, okay. Next one, in these imperial dominions, which on all sides were limited only by the sea, there was room for the professors of opposite religions and for beliefs, good and bad, and the road to intolerance. So here is intolerance was closed. Sunnis and Shias met in one mosque, and Christians and Jews is one church to pray. He consistently followed the principle of universal peace. This universal peace is also known as Sulh-e-Khul. What it is? Sulh-e-Khul. Okay, children. So this is implemented by Akbar. Now look at here one picture in your textbook, the same page. So here look at this. So they are discussing with the king the different religious elders. Okay. Akbar holding discussions with learned individuals of different faiths. That means Hindus leaders, Muslim leaders, Christian leaders, Jain leaders, Buddhist leaders, etc. in his Ibadat Khana. What it is? In his Ibadat Khana. Okay, children. Now this is your lesson. Now look at here another cartoon picture in their ruling. A detail in a miniature from Shah Jahan's reign showing corruption during his father's administration. Look how they are taking corruption from some. Next, children, a corrupt officer received a bribe and a tax collector punishes poor peasants. Look how punishes the poor peasants. Actually, poor peasants are working hard. They are cultivating lands. They are paying taxes to the government. So actually, they are the hard workers really and paying taxes. But what happened? The middlemen and jagirdars or munsabdars, they are receiving out of the revenue 61.5%, and remaining revenue they send to king. This remaining revenue is unable to invest or develop the land, irrigation facilities to the country or kingdom lands, which belongs to peasants. Okay, children, now I want to show you once again Akbar's reign 1605 AD. Look at this picture in your textbook, page number 124. So here also you can see this is a vast kingdom of Akbar. This is a vast kingdom of Akbar. It extended North India and also in South India. Okay, that we can observe. Okay, children, this is your lesson. Thank you.